Hello, I'm Karen from theneedlefelter.com. For years, I've been bringing animals like this adorable sleeping fennec fox to life using needles and wool, and today we're diving into the basics. This video is the first in my FAQ series, and I'm kicking it off by answering the question, what is needle felting? I'm going to give you a little history lesson, show you a few needle felted objects, and do a quick demo on how needle felting works. Felting in general is the process of matting wool fibers together. The older method is called wet felting. To wet felt, you use water, soap, and agitation to lock the fibers together. And this ancient craft has been around for centuries. It's the process used to make felted wool yurts, hats, slippers, or a scarf like this one. I created this from a living felt kit and tutorial. I'll put the link to that in the description below. So this is the result of wet felting. Needle felting, on the other hand, is a much more recent technique. Instead of water and soap to agitate the wool, you use a special notched or barbed needle like this. It's a little hard, but can you see the notches? With needle felting, we're usually making more sculpted pieces like this sweet little fox, or adding more detail like you see in this owl ornament. Needle felting gives you more control over the placement of the wool, and this allows you to achieve effects that would be significantly more difficult if you were using wet felting techniques. In the 19th century, industrial machines were developed to mass-produce felt. And these machines use countless needles working rapidly to create everything from carpets to industrial padding. So the concept has been around for a while, but only recently become popular for artistic uses. It wasn't until much later that artists really began to explore needle felting as an art form. One of the people who helped push the craft forward was Ayala Talpai. In the year 2000, she released this book, Felting Needles for Fiber Fanatics. She shares the basics of how to get started needle felting. She suggests multiple projects. In addition, she explains how needle felting might enhance traditional felting techniques like wet felting. And to me, the most amazing part of the book is it even included needles. And considering that these needles are 25 years old, they're still in amazing condition. Let's dive into how needle felting works. All you need is some wool, a felting mat to protect your table surface. You can see mine is well loved, and a needle. I'll be using a 38 gauge star needle for this demo. So I'm just going to make a small sort of squarish stack of wool. I'm going to put white on the bottom and a little bit of this blue on the top. Let's take a measurement. So I've got roughly about a 2-inch by 2-inch stack of wool, and it's almost 2 inches thick. Let me show you how quickly and how much this wool will compress as I needle felt it. So I'm going to start by just gently poking the wool down with my needle. The notches or barbs on the needle grab the fibers and pull them down, tangling them together with each poke. It really is important to keep the angle of the needle the same as you move it in and out of the wool to avoid breaking it. As I keep working, the wool starts to condense and hold its new shape. If we take a look at the bottom, you can see the blue fibers poking through the white. This photo shows a merino wool fiber compared to a human hair. Even though the wool fiber is much thinner, the surface is rougher when compared to the smoother human hair. This rough surface texture means wool fibers will catch and grab onto each other, sort of like Velcro, and they stay stuck. I want to make sort of a square or rectangular shape. And as I'm shaping the piece, I keep turning it so it will be evenly felted. I also try not to push the needle in too far. I want the wool to condense into the piece, not just attach itself to my felting mat. Needle felting takes a little time, but I think that's part of what makes it so relaxing. See how the blue and white are intermingled together now? That's needle felting. Let's take a measurement. So we started with a piece that was about 2 by 2 by 2, and now we've got a square that's a little over maybe 1 3/4 by 1 1/2 by a little bit over 1/4 inch thick. So you can see needle felting is not only effective, but it's pretty quick. To be fair, I'm a little biased, but I think it's faster than wet felting. And now to give you an idea of what's possible with this simple technique, we already took a look at my fennec fox and barn owl ornament. I also wanted to share this fluffy yellow chick. This is an example of making something in a more realistic fashion, maybe than the barn owl. Needle felting gives you a lot of flexibility with the style that you want to work in. You can even do 2D or wool paintings. This rabbit is a piece I made following a tutorial in Danny Ives' Painting with Wool course. With needle felting, you can make almost anything, from wool paintings to realistic sculptures to whimsical ornaments. So there you have it, a basic intro to needle felting. It's a craft that's both wonderfully simple and incredibly versatile. If you've got questions about anything we've covered here or want to share your thoughts on needle felting, drop them in the comments. I'm planning on addressing your questions in future videos, so be sure to subscribe so you do not miss the next one. And that's it for this FAQ. I hope it inspires you to felt something, and if you don't felt, make something. See you next time.